Liberal Viewer presents.
So, having made a playlist of over 180 examples of Fox News bias, including another playlist of over 20 examples of Fox News' dishonest video editing, one of the most common comments I get from Fox News supporters is a claim that the rest of the media is as bad or worse than Fox News, just biased for the left, which I just haven't found to be true, but still, on those rare occasions I am able to verify the same kind of dishonesty from other media that I so frequently find on Fox. I'm more than happy to document it, and that's just what I found last month on MSNBC's Rachel Maddow's show, which reported Mitt Romney's stance on Arizona's anti-immigrant law, then pending before the Supreme Court, like this.
That hugely controversial, hugely divisive legislation in Arizona, constitutional or not, is seen by presidential candidate Mitt Romney, he says, as a model for the nation.
Should there be aggressive, seek them out, find them, and arrest them, as Sheriff Arpaio advocates?
You know, I think you see a model here in Arizona.
We should have known from his snuggling up to Chris Kobach and dragging Pete Wilson out of the past that he was going to do this. But Mitt Romney, I think, still sort of surprised some people when he positioned himself in the Republican primary this year as the most anti-immigrant of all the primary contenders.
Now, it's true that Mitt Romney took some extreme positions on immigration during the Republican primary, but the clip Rachel Maddow used there to show Mitt Romney wanted Arizona's anti-immigrant law to be a model for the nation was edited out of context from a Republican debate in which Romney actually said that Arizona's system to check the immigration status of job seekers should be a model for the nation, as you can see from watching the full context of Romney's argument here.
Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who's with us tonight from Maricopa County, he's in the audience. He told me this week here in Mesa, these are his words. It's, quote, political garbage, if you will, to not arrest illegals already in this country. You've talked, Governor, about self-deportation. If businesses do their job asking for the right documents, the people will leave. But what about arresting? Should there be aggressive, seek them out, find them, and arrest them, as Sheriff Arpaio advocates?
You know, I think you see a model here in Arizona. They passed a law here that says that people who come here and try and find work, that the employer is required to look them up on E-Verify. This E-Verify system allows employers in Arizona to know who's here legally and who's not here legally. And as a result of E-Verify being put in place, the number of people in Arizona that are here illegally has dropped by some 14%, where the national average has only gone down 7%.
So, in full context, when Mitt Romney said Arizona's law was a model for the country, he was talking about the E-Verify system that checks the immigration status of job seekers, making the editing on the Rachel Maddow show dishonest, even though Mitt Romney did support Arizona's anti-immigrant law a moment later in the debate in this clip.
So going back to the question that was asked, the right course for America is to drop these lawsuits against Arizona and other states that are trying to do the job Barack Obama isn't doing, and I will drop those lawsuits on day one.
I guess it's a little late to drop the Obama administration's mostly successful lawsuit against Arizona's anti-immigrant law, but the vagueness of Romney's position on immigration doesn't justify dishonest editing from MSNBC, especially because Romney's changing positions on immigration can be honestly demonstrated, as CNN did a few days after the Supreme Court struck down much of the Arizona law, and CNN used the same Romney debate clip put in the proper context, as you can see here.
Romney's support for states' rights on immigration does line up with comments he's made in the past in favor of the Arizona law, including this interview with the Christian Broadcasting Network.
Well, I support the Arizona law, recognizing that what Arizona has done underscores the failure of the federal government to do its job.
At a CNN debate in Arizona earlier this year, Romney appeared to tout parts of the state's immigration system as an example for the country.
You know, I think you see a model here in Arizona. They passed a law here that says that people who come here and try and find work, that the employer is required to look them up on E-Verify.
But the Romney campaign insists the GOP contender does not see the entire law as a national model. And since the primaries, Romney has softened his tone on the issue.
And that's an honest portrayal of Mitt Romney's changing positions on immigration, which doesn't mean that honest journalism prevents analysis critical of the candidate, which CNN also provided a couple minutes later in this clip.
Candidate Romney moved far to the right. On the question of immigration during the primaries, you saw the clips that Jim Acosta used in his piece on the Arizona law, and now he's trying to tack a little bit more to the center to appeal to those independent voters. The problem politically, though, I think, is that when you run for president, seeming uncertain on something is really not good. People want somebody who's a leader, who has a clear position, and that's not the way Romney seems, at least not today. Maybe we'll hear more from him this evening, but so far, very, very vague.
Now, that's legitimate news analysis, using facts to argue the conclusion that Romney's changing positions on immigration make him look like a weak leader, and because CNN's critical analysis is based on an honest presentation of the facts, it's separated by a bright line from the dishonest video editing on MSNBC's Rachel Maddow show, and from the many instances of dishonesty I've shown from Fox News, I think, but I want to know what you think. Did MSNBC cross a line by dishonestly editing video of Mitt Romney's position on Arizona's anti-immigrant law? And despite this instance from MSNBC, do the many instances of dishonesty from Fox News compare to rare instances like this one from the rest of the media to put Fox News in a qualitatively different category than the other outlets?
YouTube, you decide.